In software configuration management, we are taking the multiple choice questions. This is under software engineering. Which of the following categories is part of the output of software process? So any software development life cycle you choose, there are software processes here, and there will be certain output. Okay, that can be document, that can be code. So the answer is all of these. That is computer programs, the documents that describe the computer programs. It can be software code, is the executables, the installers. Then we have the documents, SRS, the document design, then the test plans, user manual, the quality manual, and then the data. So the answer is D here. Which is the software configuration management concept that help us to control change without seriously impeding justifiable change? So here we are talking about change control, and the question is asking that which of the concept of this SCM is helping us to control change without seriously impeding the justifiable change. If the changes are justifiable, if the changes are necessary, then the answer is baseline. So what is the baseline? Let us understand this first. This baseline is actually a milestone in the development of a software that is marked by the delivery of one or more SCI, software configuration items, and the approval of these SCIs. How are we obtaining this? Through a formal technical review. Okay, for example, SRS, this will become a baseline. A design document will become a baseline. Any change in this, you have to follow a proper formal technical review. So if you see here in the database, we have system specification, software requirement, design specification, source code, the test plans, and the operational system. All are these there, and they are baselines. And as I said, if you ever want to change them, there has to be a proper technical formal review need to be followed. Then only the modification is possible or can be done. So this becomes baseline, becomes the base or base document, base delivery, base milestone. Software configuration management can be administered in several ways. These include, the first one is a single software configuration management team for the whole organization. Now this is the best one. For a whole organization, there should be a single team looking after the SCM. A separate configuration for each project, not done. Software configuration management distributed among the project members, not also advisable. So for the whole organization, if you have a common SCM team, that is the best. What combines procedures and tools to manage different versions of configuration objects that are created during the software process? So we are talking about different versions. So different versions of configuration objects, and we are talking about two things: procedures and tools, and these are managing these different versions. So what will be the answer? Any guesses? Any idea? Okay, let us see the answer. The answer is version control. So this configuration management allow a user to specify alternative configurations of the software system through the selection of appropriate versions. That is how it combines the procedures and tools managing different versions. These are the versions 1.1, 1.1.1 of configuration objects that are created during the software process. What complements the formal technical review by assessing a configuration object for characteristics that are generally not considered during review? So when the technical review is done, it is for software processes, that whether the design is made properly, whether the testing is done properly. So in the SCM, there is one more audit that is somewhat equivalent to technical review, but it is actually complementary to technical review, and that is called as the SCM. the software configuration audit? So the answer is SCA. Audit is all about checking the account, checking what the balance sheet. So here the audit means what are the SCIs, are the change requests properly followed, the SQA plan being made, and is that being followed, like that. Which of the following is the process of assembling program components, data and libraries, and then compiling and linking these to create an executable system? So what will be there? So what we are doing, first of all, we are talking about an executable system preparing. And from where it is coming? The answer is system building. So you are creating an executable system. So you are actually system building. And you are assembling program components, the data, the libraries, compiling and linking. So this is the whole process of system building. Okay. So program components, program data, program libraries, and compiling and then linking. So as I just said, it's creating an executable system, which is the system building. Which of the following option is not tracked by configuration management tools? So see, tracking of change proposals, storing versions of system components, tracking the release of system versions to customers. Now the answer here is all these, all A, B, C, these all option is tracked by the SCM tools. I'm just showing here how the change is done. There is a whole process which has to be followed in order to change or any kind of request that is being suggested by the user that can be incorporated. So tracking of change proposals, storing versions of system components, and tracking the release of system versions to customers, all is the answer. Which of the following is not a software configuration management activity? So configuration item identification is, release management is, branch management is, risk management is not it's not a SCM activity. So what is the risk management? Risk management is the process of identifying, assessing and prioritizing the risk to minimize, monitor and control the probability of unfortunate events. That is, before anything can happen, you well in the advance anticipate and then devise various strategies to mitigate it, to reconcile it, to handle it. So here I am trying to show you the risk management activities. Let me show you the answer first. Before that, risk management with reference to the definition, risk assessment is risk identification, analysis and prioritization. Risk control is planning, monitoring and resolution. So this is the answer here, which is risk management is entirely a different domain. The definition and use of configuration management standards is essentially for quality certification in. So whether you go for ISO 9000, whether you go for CMM, whether you go for CMMI, everywhere it is defined in all the mentioned options. Capability maturity model, integrated or integration, the ISO 9000. So all of these, the definition and the use of SCM or configuration management standards is essential for quality certification in all of these. So all of the mentioned you have to answer. What involves preparing software for external release and keeping track of the system versions that have been released for customer use? Okay, we are talking about preparing a software for external release and keeping track of the system version. Two things. And that has been released to the customer use. That is why the answer is release management. Okay. So what involves preparing software for external release and keeping track? Release management. Which of the following process ensures that versions of system and components are recorded and maintained? Again, we are talking about versions. So old version, new version, present version. So what will be the answer here? The answer is configuration control. So in configuration control, changes are managed and all the version of components, they are identified and they are stored for the lifetime. As I suggested, nowadays we have proper SCM software, that is called the Software Configuration Management System. So these all are automatically done, and that becomes very handy for a big organization. While we are working together, different people are working on different system, on different versions. Which of the following process is concerned with analyzing the cost and benefits of proposed changes? So we are talking about the cost benefit analysis of the proposed changes. The changes can be done, changes cannot be done, it can be denied. So in SCM we have identification, version control, change control, configuration audit, reporting. So all this is the whole process of change. So the answer here is change management. Okay, so this change management is all about knowing whether the change, doing the change or incorporating the change is worthwhile, and tracking which component in the system have to be changed or have been changed. If it is not done, you just leave it. Which of the following is not a version management feature? Not a version management feature. Okay, so let us see the answer. This is B. The answer is build script generation, because in version management feature we have version and release identification, project support and change history recording, but it is not build script generation. Which method recommends that every frequent system build should be carried out with automated testing to discover software problem? So since it is saying very frequent, whenever it comes to quick, whenever it is quick delivery, quick iteration, all these comes under the agile. So the answer here will be agile method. So in keeping with the agile methods, notion of making many small changes, continuous integration involves rebuilding the mainline frequently after small source code changes have been made. So frequent changes and frequent testing and frequent deliveries. This is what agile is all about. Test, develop, deploy, review, plan, design, launch. Which of the following is not a build system feature? Okay, so this is the answer here is storage management. So which of the following is not a build system feature? See, minimal recompilation, document generation and reporting is there, but we are not talking about, we are talking about build system feature. These all minimal recompilation, generation, reporting, this is all generating factors. But we are talking about storage management. This is already there. It's not generating anything. We have to have, to reduce the storage space required by multiple versions of component that differ only slightly. This is done actually. Which of the following is a collection of component versions that make up a system? So collection of component versions we are talking about. And this answer is C, baselines. So baselines, they are controlled, which means that the versions of the component making up the system cannot be changed, and if they need to be changed, there has to be a proper formal technical review that has to be followed. Which of the following is a configuration item? So which of these is a configuration item? You see in SCIs, the software configuration item, the software configuration objects, all are these: design and test specification, source code, log information. So everything is there. So a configuration item is an approved and accepted deliverable. Changes have to be made through the formal procedure. Okay, so all of these is the answer. Which of the following is a part of system release? So in system release, everything is given. So electronic and paper documentation which describes the system. This is the release part. Then we have the packaging and associated publicity that have been designed for that release. This also comes under this. An installation program that is used to help install the system or target hardware. This also comes here. A sequence of baselines representing different versions of a system is known as. So sequence of baselines. So we are not talking about baselines. Sequence of baseline is nothing but mainline. Okay. So a sequence of baseline representing different versions of a system is, answer is mainline. Okay, this is all about today's discussion. We'll be taking few more of these. Thank you so much.